Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald on the north side of Quincy between 30th and 24th Street. If you've driven the stretch of road, you've noticed a mammoth new plant here, part of the Knapheide Manufacturing Company. This is their aluminum plant, almost brand new, almost 200,000 square feet in size, and with many, many new employees. And it's a commitment to making their products, which are going, of course, worldwide, out of the commodity of aluminum, which is a new thing for the company. And Harry Marcinetti, you're the Senior Vice President of Operations. This was a big commitment, wasn't it?
It was a huge commitment for us, and it was on our 20th anniversary of our facility that we currently operate out of.
And we all know that is the new plant, right?
Yes.
Because I remember when it flooded on the Missouri side, y'all had to make a decision, well, we're going to build a new plant, and you knew where you were going to go with it. And that's now 20 years before the birth of this plant. Amazing.
Almost on the anniversary.
Yeah. How did the decision come about to open an aluminum plant?
Our industry, Ford went aluminum on their products 3 years ago. A few of our competitors have been introducing aluminum, and we wanted to come in with a new and exciting product, fully engineered, totally different than a steel service body.
We get to tour this plant today, but what are you making in there?
We're making an aluminum service bodies. We currently have one aluminum line in there. The plant is designed for ultimately 5 utility body lines.
And we're talking about what, truck beds,
truck
right?
Truck beds, that's correct.
Of all sizes?
Of all sizes, from 96
trucks,
inch.
Dump trucks, everything.
Yes.
Huh? Yep. No kidding. And that's sort of a market that you have cornered in a way, isn't it? There aren't a lot of companies that make this kind of product.
We are well over 50% market share in our industry, and in specific products we're as high as 75% market share. So it's a dominant company.
Tell us about this plant. It really looks cool.
Oh, it's an amazing project. We approved this project in November of 16. And we worked with Cordy Architects and Design and Build Company out of St. Louis, who built our plant 20 years ago. So very familiar with them. And then most importantly, we used, we used local manufacturing construction companies. So for the most part, we used all local support from our construction side of this business.
From the time you all made the decision to build this in 2016 to the time you opened, it was a very brief period, wasn't it?
It was a short period of time. We opened up on March the 5th of 2018. It was amazing. It was an amazing project, great coordination between all the contractors and the architect. It's a great result.
What kind of an employment story is it for Quincy? Do you have a lot of new jobs here?
We opened up the facility with approximately 80 to 100 people, and the ultimate goal, when we have all 5 lines staffed, we will have over 250 people in this facility.
No kidding. That's a lot for a town this size. Can you find that many employees?
We're having difficulty, like many others, that the unemployment rate in Adams County is 3.1%, so we're having our challenges with filling our staffing.
Yeah. You mentioned aluminum. You're very proud of the fact that much of this facility is aluminum, isn't it?
It is. When we tour the facility, the fascia here is all aluminum. The lettering is made of aluminum. The chairs in the lunchroom are all aluminum. So the whole theme was, this is our aluminum manufacturing facility.
Mm-hmm. As we look at this new plant from the air, how does it lay out?
It lays out north to south. If you look at our total campus, we are north to south in most cases, and the facility, the original facility, north to south is the flow of the materials. In this facility, it's south to north, and they converge in the middle. We have our inventory between the 2 facilities.
Mm-hmm. And the 2 facilities are on the same property, aren't they?
That's
just
correct.
A large, what, a 200-acre site?
We're approaching 200-acre site here, yeah.
Well, can we go in and take a look at how it works?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We're proud of it.
Well, Chris Ford, we're going to start at the end so we can get back to the beginning. And what we're looking at now is these aluminum truck beds, which are getting ready to be washed before they're painted, right?
Yes, sir.
But this is what a finished product looks like before you paint it.
Correct. Yes.
And these are, the 2 we're looking at here, are made for what kind of vehicle?
So these 2 right here are going to be made for a kind of a medium heavy duty truck.
Like a pickup truck?
Yeah, like a pickup truck.
Okay. And you've got, so you have, are these customized in any way, or do these doors are sort of standard doors and storage?
Yeah, so these right here are actually standard units. We do make custom units here, but these particular models that are going in there are standard units.
Okay. And then what you got here is, here's another one here, but this one looks different. Why does this one look different?
So this is one of our steel models here. So we are able to paint both steel and aluminum through this facility, and that's why this one's here. So this one is in a prime state, ready to be finish coated.
In the olden days, before this plant was built, they were all steel, weren't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
They were.
Now the commitment by the company is to start building these aluminum ones, and you like to keep them separate.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we want to make sure that we keep them separate, so we keep them free of contaminants. Basically, these bodies right here are much more corrosion resistant, just inherently being aluminum. So we want to keep all the corrosion potential from the steel out of those.
I see. Okay. Well, the next thing I want to do then, since this is a finished product or nearly finished product, let's go back to the beginning and see how all this comes together.
Sounds great.
That's good. Chris, we're standing amid a whole bunch of aluminum here, all stacked up and getting ready for something.
Sure.
Some of it's here, some of it's color coded. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, definitely. So this right here is our floors. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to kit those into pallets. So these pallets right here are going to be for a run of bodies. And then over here what we're looking at is material racks.
The yellow ones we're looking at?
Yep, those are the yellow ones, the green ones, and also the red ones. So this facility right here was designed with a 6S principle in mind. So basically what we're going to do is everything has a place and every place has a thing. So those color-coded racks go to specific areas on the line.
Mm-hmm. Let's walk that way and see how they're doing.
Sounds great.
Now, I noticed, or I've been told, I guess, that there's a lot more automation in this plant than there was in the old plant. You can kind of see that's what these robots are doing here, isn't it?
Yes, so basically, whenever we come out with this new body, whether we come up with a new way of thinking on how we were wanting to manufacture these products. And so for that reason, what we decided to do was use a lot more automation. What that automation gets us is a more consistent, better quality product. So every product that comes out is the exact same as the last one to come out.
What is that robot there doing? Is he welding or what's he doing?
No, so basically this body here is going to be put together predominantly with adhesive and fasteners. This robot here, what it's going to do is it's going to check for the part presence. It's going to check to make sure the right part's in there. Mm-hmm. It's going to check that the quality of the part is all there. And then it's going to take it over and apply adhesive to it.
Oh, that's what it's doing now. Is that putting adhesive on it now?
Oh, so right now what it's doing is it's checking to make sure that the part is within tolerance. So basically these parts, they don't go any further in the line if they are not to a tolerance that we've deemed necessary to build this product.
Okay, then they move ahead like we're moving ahead here.
Yes, sir.
Here's a fellow over here. He's taking some of the parts that the robot has approved, right?
Correct. So he's going to take the parts off this conveyor over here. And these box sections here that are going to be made on the wing bender over here are going to be brought into what we call our box station. So he's going to put those parts all into the box and make an just a single box section.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to the manufacture, is aluminum easier or more difficult to work with than steel?
It's just different. So neither one's more worse or better, but
more better or worse,
yeah,
but different, huh?
Exactly. So just different. So Harry's wanting to point out over here, this wing bender over here. I don't know.
Okay, let's take a look.
Yep, sorry. So this right here is going to be the other section of that box that you saw he was building over there. And basically what they're going to do here is they're going to take flat panels that have been blanked out with holes, and they're going to bend those up into a three-sided box. That's where the part components come into play over here, is they're going to assemble those components into that box. And that makes it a rigid box structure.
Okay, so is this part of the storage that you see on the sides of the actual bed of the truck?
It is. So these right here are the storage boxes.
Okay. And that's what he's doing there again.
Yes, sir. And again, another automated process.
Chris, it's interesting. You know, when we hear automation, we think the robots do everything, but frankly, the robots and the humans kind of work together, don't they?
They do, and especially in this process here. So it was kind of imperative to our process that they work together based on the custom bodies that we're able to build. So we can't do all standards. We do have to have some custom abilities.
Yeah.
So for that reason, we had to create a robot that was able to accommodate that.
So you have customers who, many of them want to buy whatever the standard bed is, but others want that built for their truck. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And so different people want different size compartments, different heights, different widths, different lengths. So we can basically make a body that can accommodate anybody.
What's the robot doing now?
So what it's doing now is applying adhesive. So the last station you've seen, we actually brought the parts to the robot, whereas here we're actually bringing the robot to the parts. And that's because the part has grown much larger at this point in the game.
Ah, okay. Okay. Let's move further down here.
Okay, sounds great.
Now, the assembly process is the further along you get, the more parts are put together, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
You're closer to the finished product.
Yes, sir.
What are they waiting for here?
So basically what happens here is this is where any of your accessories are going to get put on. Accessories that are at the early stage of the game. So if it has master locks on it, it's going to get the tail light protection, brackets, braces, things like that. From that area, then it's going to move into what we call our final area, where it's going to be made into a full body. Now this area right here is the only area in the facility that we're going to do any welding. And basically there are just small structural components that we do weld to this. Everything else is adhesive and fasteners.
And actually your men and women do the welding. You don't have the robots doing any welding, or is that not true?
Correct. So basically here all we have is manual welding, just because of the minimal nature of it. So there is very little welding on this body, and really in the areas that it needs to be done, there needs to be the finesse of a human there.
How many lines are you running presently? Is it 2 lines here in this building?
In this building, yes, 2 lines.
2 lines,
Yeah.
okay. And you have room for a lot more,
We
right?
do. We got plenty of room for more.
Yeah.
We got a whole facility here to fill up.
And you actually expect to do that in the coming years, don't
We
you?
do. We do.
Chris, when we started with you, we were showing the wash cycle. That's closed right now. That's being washed, right?
Yes, sir. It's a 5-stage wash.
And then what goes on in this booth here?
So basically, they're going to wash, and then they're going to dry here.
That's like a big drying machine, huh?
Big oven.
A big oven. Okay. What about here?
So right here is where we're going to prime the bodies. So we're going to get an off-white prime there.
And they get primed just like you would say an automobile, huh? I mean, you prime them. Okay.
Definitely.
Then they come out of prime, and it looks like another big oven.
Yes, sir. So then they're going to dry there again. They're going to dry there, getting ready for finish paint.
Okay. So the white room is the finished paint.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then it looks like there's another oven.
There's another oven. More ovens. Yes, sir.
And then what happens in the very final bay there?
So the in bay there is kind of a utility booth that we can use for undercoating or any bodies that we got to do special colors, coatings, things like that too.
Yeah. Now, how long does this whole process take for one of the truck beds or bodies to get done?
One of the truck beds come through, so basically we're about 30 minutes per area, right? So 15 in and 15 in the dry.
And then when it comes out the final, it's all shiny and new and ready to
Shiny and new.
Ready to show and ready to haul off, right?
Yes, sir.
To wherever in the heck it might end up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Harold Knapheide, it's a rich history, the Knapheide Corporation. In fact, we just went to the newest facility, your new plant, and now we're back in your 20-year-old plant, which you built after the flood of 1993, I guess, right?
Yes.
So this probably seems like a new plant still to you, doesn't it?
Sure does.
This is the new plant, and
Yeah.
we're looking at portraits of all the Knapheides that have operated this company since 1848. You're not the last in line. Your son Bo is the next in line.
Yes.
He'll be taking over the reins when you retire, I
Yes.
guess. Huh? Let me ask you about the decision to build this new plant. You, at this point in your life, you're what, about 70 years old or so?
Yes.
Was it a difficult decision to make an investment of that size, given the success that you've had here? I mean, it's not something you needed to do. Why would you take on a decision like that?
Well, but we did need to do it. We need to branch out into, aluminum products. They're not big as steel and may never surpass steel, but it's like a lot of things we've done. At one time we made wagons and made farm bodies, and it's just a natural evolution. So we needed to be in the aluminum field.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've always made your truck beds out of steel.
Well, we made a little aluminum, but not much. Yeah.
And it just didn't work to do it in the same facility. Is that?
Well, we didn't have space, and there's you know, there's a reason to isolate the two. The two don't mix sometimes well together. So we needed more. You know, we didn't have any space. This plant's full.
This plant is full.
Yeah.
And it's operating at capacity, right? I mean, you're producing all you can.
Yeah.
And you send, my goodness, when you drive around the facility and look around, there are truck beds everywhere. So and I assume they're all spoken for, they're all sold, they're all going somewhere, right?
Yeah, they are.
So, and you keep coughing them out.
Yeah.
The long range, we're going to talk to your son about the long range plans for that new plant. But I just, when I look at the amount of investment that it took to put that together, and is taking, because it still has rooms for additional lines in there, that's a big decision, and you have to talk about hiring a lot of people to fill that plant up.
Yeah, that's a challenge. It's finding people is difficult these days. So.
You've been with the company for 50 years.
Yeah.
Would you say more changes happened in that 50 years than any 50 years before that?
Oh, not necessarily. You know, I think the change from wagons and horse-drawn to the Model T and trucks was a big change. A lot of companies made wagons, but not many of them, you know, evolved into truck body manufacture. So it's you know, pretty much like a lot of changes that we've had in the past. I think you know, some of the technology and all is more dramatic than past years, but change is change. You know?
Yeah, and when you're talking about technology and you're talking about methods of manufacture, it's an ongoing investment, isn't it? Because you're constantly having to update everything.
Yes, very much so.
So actually investing in the new plant was just an extension of what you're doing all the time anyway, I guess. So,
yeah, that's true.
Do you feel, when you look at these pictures and you look at your father and his father and his father and his father, do you feel a heavy responsibility?
Well, I think you know, there's certainly an appreciation for what they did. You know, going through depression, and it wasn't just you know, we've had some recessions, but nothing like the Great Depression. You know, so I'm you know, very aware of what my grandfather did, what my dad did after the war to you know, kind of started after years of depression and World War II with you know, we didn't have much and had to really buy used equipment, nothing like, you know, the investment we have here. So yeah, it's I'm quite proud of them.
Well, I'll bet you are, and it looks like it's going to go on. Like I said, we're going to talk to your son next about the future of the company and any plans that are being made now. But I understand that Knapheide is what, the third largest employer in Quincy?
I guess, yeah.
And I guess after hospital and schools, and I guess you're going to even grow more.
Well, we hope to. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Knapp.
Thank you.
Bo Knapheide, we were just talking to your dad down in the hall of Knapheide downstairs, and I assume that you're going to be the next Knapheide picture to go up in that line of family. How's it feel?
Well, it's kind of I grew up in it, so it's kind of to some extent it's kind of all I know. But you know, I grew up very much a part, always kind of included. Kind of progressed through the years in what I did. As a little one, I'd come out, you know, on spend time on a Saturday out here. Then you know, I did a lot of jobs in the plant, so it's kind of been an evolution, but it's always kind of been a part of me.
Well, it's kind of good that you were in the plant, because like, you know what a welder does because you've done some welding, and you know what goes on down there because you've done a lot of those jobs, haven't you?
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. I mean, to learn the business that way. I also it was nice for me to spend time with our team out there, get to know them, get to understand those jobs really. It meant a lot. It was a great way to learn, you know, what we do.
Yeah. The decision to build the new plant, the aluminum plant, that must have been huge, because when we've toured that earlier, we saw what an investment that was. And even a big company like Knapheide really has to make a careful determination before making an investment like that. And I'm sure you were in on the discussions. Was it as difficult as it looked to me like a layperson would be? I mean, because that's a lot to take on, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big move for us. You know, we are in our industry the leaders in our industry, but we recognize that, you know, our customers are looking for often lighter weight solutions. There's vehicles now being built out of aluminum, so we love steel. There's a great application for it, but this was really a big move to offer, you know, what our customers need. We'll have a solution, and also really increase our capacity of our company to meet the demands of our customers. You know, whatever product they need, we've got them covered.
I assume that what you're thinking, part of your thinking, is it's going to bring you new customers too, because the people that you've had in the customers you've had in the past apparently love your product. But now there are people that only want aluminum, and if they have to go somewhere besides Knapheide to get it, they will, right? Right.
Yeah. So we want to, you know, whatever vehicle, whatever platform our customers are looking to use, we want to have an application that fits for them. And sometimes, you know, they're looking to save a few pounds. They're looking to carry a little bit more. They're looking maybe to go down a class in truck. So now we have an application, and we can look at it of how we can go lighter to meet their needs.
During our tour of the new plant, we noticed that there's a lot of empty space. I think that building is like 200,000 square feet or something like that. And there's room for 5 lines in there, and there are currently 2 lines. What plans do you have to get that space usable?
Yeah, no, we have big plans, and so we continue to roll out more and more product lines. So there's a constant development going on here, and yeah, we've got room to grow, and we look forward to filling it up. So.
Yeah, we also heard that the unemployment rate in Quincy is already low, and that hiring is somewhat of a problem.
Yeah, it's really a challenge for us. You know, you can create a great working environment, you can create a great culture, you can create great jobs. You just have to find the right people. We've got a lot of long-term people that really make us great, but it's really finding that next generation of people, and it certainly is a challenge.
Yeah. Here in the main plant, you run 3 shifts, so you're working like around the clock here. Over there, you run 1, I think, right? But you'd like to run more.
Sure. Yeah, our long-term goal here, where we're headed, is we will continue to add shifts and lines over there as we grow. Yeah.
You mentioned that you're the leader in your industry, and you know, I always heard that, and I believed it until when I saw your national map over here of your distributors. I thought, my goodness, he's telling the truth. Yeah. Because there's a distributor in every state, and more in many. But that's a big reach. You've got a big national reach.
Yeah. You know, the core of our business is our distribution. We have just a wonderful distribution network throughout the United States. Over 240 distributors. You know, every state we've got good coverage. A lot of these guys and families go way back with us, and you know, it's a strong relationship that we have with them, and just absolutely key to our success.
It's interesting. Just as you all are opening your new aluminum plant, we hear talk of tariffs on aluminum.
Yeah.
I mean that pricked everybody's ears up here, didn't it?
Yeah.
When that came about.
Yeah, we didn't plan for that, and we've certainly had to adjust. Our customers, our distributors, have all had to adjust with the cost increases that came on really fast. So, you know, there's a lot of good things going on, but you know, that certainly is a challenge that we face, is those increasing costs.
Yeah, of course, you have that with the steel product too, don't you? Because it's steel and aluminum.
Yeah. No, it came on fast at a time when our business is really busy, but the cost increase, you know, came on quick.
Yeah. Let's talk about the future a little bit, because God willing, you know, you'll be the one that's maybe guiding the company into the future. What do you see on the horizon?
Well, I think, you know, if you look at the history of our company, and it's something that I draw strength on, is that we've always changed and adapted to meet the challenge. And I think, you know, everything, you know, changes. You know, I think, you know, this new plant, getting into aluminum is a sign that, you know, we're proud of our 170 years, but we're looking forward to the future.
Mm-hmm. Besides aluminum, are any plans about expanding any further at this point?
You know, we continue to evaluate our business. You know, we continue to grow. We evaluate opportunities. You know, never say never. I think we'll do what's necessary.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the new plant, because it's really stunning. I mean, it really is. Yeah. And the way Harry showed us, you know, he says, hey, this is not only a plant for aluminum, this is a plant built of aluminum. Yeah. We used as much aluminum in this baby as we could. Yeah. So it's really it's a really neat thing for Quincy and for the Quincy area. Yeah. Now if you could just get enough workers to fill that, huh?
Yeah, we just we'll keep looking for people, but we really are proud of our community, of our roots in Quincy, Illinois. It's been great for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Bo.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
As you can see, there's a lot of optimism here. Optimism that the orders and the employees of the future are on the way to fill up those 5 production lines. With another Illinois Story in Quincy, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.